Hello, how you doing? It's Saturday. I don't usually do these videos on a Saturday, but I had to share this. It's something that came up yesterday, and it's something that personally I've been working through, grappling with, finding an answer, not knowing any of the answers, etc. I mean, basically being a person in business, right? Trying to figure out all the things. Anyway, I thought it would be really useful to share, and it will be like one of those things that it will be a buffet. So there'll be some bits that you can really help yourself to and load your plate up and go, yes, oh, that's going to really help me next week. And there'll be some things that you just want to walk on by that are not going to be for you. So I had a coaching session yesterday with my coach, who I've been working with for a year now. So we know each other really well. We see each other very regularly, and it was a year's contract. And that was what I was looking for at the beginning of last year, because there were things that I wanted to do and create, and lots of those things have happened, and that's been really great to be able to do that. And I'm not saying it's come overnight, because there have been times certainly when I've wanted to run away or not do the work, or I felt overwhelmed, or it basically has brought up all my own stuff, as often these things do. We can't just talk about business strategy and just go, oh, I just want to go to the next level. Sometimes it is that philosophy that I always talk about really pulling up the garden and shoving stuff about, and really pulling out the weeds and then seeing what you're left with. That was very much my experience. So yesterday when we had our session, I had something that was back in the back of my mind, but instead of kind of going through the whole story, I wanted to see if there was a way that I could ask a question that I would get a really great answer to. So the situation I took to the table was, I know 2021 is a really, I mean, we can use all the adjectives, can't we? Odd, peculiar, sensitive, like there's so many. And one of the things that I was grappling with was this sense that I'm 40 in November, and a couple of years ago, had I been thinking about this year ahead, I wanted it to be my year where I was like, whoa, let's go, let's expand, let's do all these sorts of things. And I wanted to move forward in that way. And then a global pandemic comes along, and I'm homeschooling my 5-year-old, and we're working through all of this process and everything else that comes along with what the last couple of years have been. And there's a real part of me that is very aware about being appropriate. Maybe it's a female thing. Maybe it's that sense of like, well, I don't want to say too much, or I don't want to say the wrong thing. And I was in this really weird push-pull position where I want to talk about my services because I know they work, and I've worked with so many people over the last nearly 10 years that I've been doing this, and I've got things that I want to sell because I want to help more people. There's other elements of my brand that is growing. I've been booked for 4 speaking talks already this year. So things are moving in the right direction. Things are happening in that way. So when I went to my coach, I said, I really want to grow my business. Like, I want to go to the next level. I want to go all in. I want to knock my own socks off. But I don't want to be a complete wonger about it, where people are like, all right, Nicky, this just feels a bit weird. It feels a bit distasteful. I don't know if this is the right thing. And already, even though my coach has helped me with lots of things like data and really figuring out the structures and the nuts and bolts and all of that stuff that I guess I really struggled with. So the creativity, the ideas, the going for it, the implementation, I've never really had an issue with. I've been able to work through that process. But consistency and the back end stuff, that was what I really needed help with. And also I have a real problem. I'm going to go there. Right, I'm going to go there. I have a real problem with a lack of authenticity online. And for example, I don't like those webinars where people go, oh my God, we're here live together, and it's not live. Like, that's just really weird. It's like saying the theatre's about to start and then you go in an empty room and go, I think we've missed it. I don't think it is live. I don't think the show's going ahead. And also there's lots of that funnel stuff, that online entrepreneur stuff that really just doesn't sit well with me. It is false connection to me. It's all like, well, we'll just add their first name into the beginning of the subject line and that's building a connection with somebody. I disagree. If somebody is trusting you with their goals, going to the next level, sharing other stuff behind the scenes, they're more than that. It's a relationship. It's a way of working together. So I had all these things going on in terms of saying to my coach, like, I want to grow, but I don't want to do all that icky stuff. I don't want to completely remove myself from the heart of what I do, because that's just weird. If it's my name on the door, then I have to and want to take some responsibility, and I want to be at the heart of it in that way. So I said, in a nutshell, how do I become more visible and stick to my plan of growing my business in 2021? I've got this event coming up next week and I really want to sell it out because I know that it's brilliant, and I did it last year 4 or 5 times and it was a wonderful experience. And she turned to me and she said, you don't need a marketing plan. You don't need a marketing plan. You need an energy plan. And I did that. I took a deep breath and I thought, right. And I let it seep in. So it wasn't a case of going, right, I need to market more. I need to really optimize LinkedIn. I need to be on Instagram stories 40 times a day. I need to pull myself in all these different directions. Actually, it was the opposite. It was about coming back to me and centering. What do I need to do? Who am I in this moment? It was like an acting exercise. Who am I in this moment? What's my intention here? What are the objectives that I want to fulfill? And going back to the energy plan rather than the sleazy marketing plan was really, really grounding. And I wanted to share a few things that today might be some things that you want to ponder, or, you know, while you're cooking your lunch. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? Okay, you probably had lunch by now. But I want you to really think about what this could mean for you and what your energy plan would look like. Now, if the word energy doesn't fit with you, if it doesn't resonate, change it to something that does. Again, this is your buffet. This is your way of pulling together all the bits that work and really loading up your plate with those, and the rest you can absolutely ditch. So energy plan really spoke to me. It's a word that I'm always considering. It's a word that I really want to be. I want to be energized. I want to feel good. I don't want to be one of these people who's like, oof, you know, I'm just tired. And, you know, I actually said to my partner the other day, I'm really bored of being tired. Tired is not appealing. I never am one of these people who, you know, want to get ill so they can have a day off in bed. I genuinely love what I do. But the last couple of years has been a lot, right? Okay, so if the energy part of the energy plan doesn't work for you, change it to whatever you want. The feel-good plan, the success plan, the more like me plan, whatever it might be. So the first thing that I did was I wrote down, what is this energy? How do I want to feel? And if you're familiar with Danielle Laporte's work, the Desire Map, you will be very familiar with this. And if you haven't discovered it, go and explore it. You might really connect with it. I certainly do. But one of the things that she talks about is how you want to feel. So I really broke down that word of energy. Like, I want to feel dynamic. I want to feel sharp and bright and all of those things. So I started with what that word means to me. And whenever you're creating anything like this, whether it's a marketing plan, whether it's a business plan, whether it's a new product line, you really have to be able to connect with it and really have that sense of groundedness in that moment of like, okay, oh, I know what to do with this. Oh, brilliant. I'm really excited about it. So I really defined what energy meant to me. I also then went back to my why and the ripple effect of me showing up in terms of this energy plan. And this is really important, not only in business, in a sort of day-to-day basis, but it often shifts year on year, month on month. It's really important to keep coming back to this. Like, why are you doing this? What is your why? What is your bigger impact? And this again goes back to the time that we're in. It can be really tempting, because I've thought it, of course, and maybe you have too, of what's the point? Like, am I ever going to work again? Is the world changed forever? Like, is there ever going to be a point where there's a normality to this whole situation? And I have certainly let myself sit and wallow in those states of mind. So when I've had really rough years, rough weeks, rough big periods of time in my life where I've been in that feeling rubbish mode, it actually doesn't serve me. And it's really boring after a while. And it's really exhausting. It's really exhausting feeling rubbish all the time. So I've really had to go back to this ripple effect. Again, going back to the energy plan of what is the ripple effect of, hi Sarah, what is the ripple effect of feeling good? And some of the whys that I was writing down was about the impact I want to have in the world. There's a really big goal that I'm not going to share, but it would make me the first woman in my family to do this. And that's really exciting. That's a moment, especially having a daughter as well, that's a moment of like, oh, could I be the first woman who does that? Also, I want to buy our dream house. And I also really live with this feeling. Maybe it's turning 40. Something that Pharrell Williams once said, not to me personally, in a magazine, about sending the elevator down. And there's a really big part of my mission at the moment of where can I send that elevator next? And sometimes when you're sending it down, it sounds like you're at the top and, you know, you're so far away and all the rest of it. Sometimes it's just a couple of floors. Sometimes it's just supporting somebody through the next process. And that's a really big part of that. So this is why this energy plan for me is going to be really important over the next couple of months as I grow, to remember that in the tough times, because I can very easily wake up in the morning, go, I'm really tired, my daughter's been awake up all night, my son wants to do X, Y, and Z, we've got to homeschool, there's never enough times in the day, we're all on top of it. Like, I don't need to really paint that picture and give you anxiety. Like, we all know what's going on. But if I come back to this ripple effect of what could my work do? What could be that knock-on effect that could happen? That's when I suddenly focus, get back in the moment, and really consider how I want to move forward in my day. And again, there are some days where I'm like, I just need to do an hour of work, and then I need to sit on my sofa and just hang out with my kids and go to the park, and I'm not always going to have that productive day. Of course we're not. There's so many different things going on. But if I do have this strong ripple effect, this strong why, I'm going to be able to focus in the moment when I actually sit down to my laptop and get stuff done, rather than sitting down and going, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Oh, I'm really tired. Ooh, I'll just go on Instagram, because we might all do that as well, which is fine because I love it. Okay, so on a basic level, going into the energy plan, I ask myself, how do I maintain it? So here are some of mine. Health, number one, absolutely. Sleep, food, exercise, being centered, having introverted quiet time. It can be so easy, even though we're not going here, there and everywhere, it can be so easy answering WhatsApp. Somebody's inviting you onto a Zoom. Do you want to go for a walk around the block? Do you want to, there's always something. So I know I have to have that introverted quiet time. It's a non-negotiable. That sense of looking in rather than out, being mindful in every moment. It's something I do all the time. If I'm in a weird kind of funky situation where I can't shift something, I will always be really self-aware and go, what's going on? Why am I feeling like this? What's triggered this situation? Why am I in that zone? And also being present and focused. I've really noticed that whenever I've grown my business, whenever I've had successes in different parts of it, it's when I've been really present and focused, and I've really made the moves that I wanted to have. Okay, the next stage, there's two more. One, how will I increase this energy plan without burning out? This is so key for me. I am not interested in the slightest at working 18-hour days and hustling harder and not seeing my children, or feeling stressed and feeling stretched all the time and being all the things to all the people. That's not how I want to work. It's not how I want to live. But I do want to grow my business. I'm really ambitious and I want to help you grow your business if I can. There's so many episodes on the podcast and ways that I can help you. But being really sure of what I need in that moment is very important, as it is for you knowing what you need in that moment. So a coach might just say to you, or a mentor, you need to work till midnight. You need to be on Instagram live at 6 a.m. every morning. But if that doesn't work for you, you're not going to do it. And it's not going to help you, and it's going to lead to burnout fast. So again, when I did this exercise, it was about tuning in. What do I need to do to really go to the next level, to be full of energy, but without burning out? Number one, understanding, being connected and living my why every day. This is really important. And I'm a big goal setter. I'm a coach. I do all of this stuff. But sometimes I write stuff in notebooks and I leave them and I close them and I put them in a drawer and I forget about them. So one of the things that I'm looking at is how can I be connected in my why every single moment. So even if I have a bad day, it doesn't lead into a bad week or a bad month, or I go, oh shit, 6 months has gone by. Yeah, I was going to do that, but I didn't. This is about being really connected each and every day. Because once I have that intention, once I have that meaning, it's like going into a supermarket shop. If you've got a shopping list with 8 things on it, you're going to be much more purposeful rather than going, I'm kind of hungry, but I don't know, what do I want? And I've got a shopping bag and I've got some broccoli in there and I go, yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to cook. So those sorts of things of really understanding my why. Why am I doing what I want? Number 2, this is a bold one, being open, willing and committed to healing and doing the inner work. So as I'm turning 40, a lot of stuff is coming up for me. Those forks in the roads, those moments where I didn't do life the way that I wanted to, or the stuff that didn't happen, or things from my childhood. We are all human beings. Perhaps you have those as well. But as you go to the next level, you never get that sense of like, I'm just going to go to the next level and it's just all going to be, I always talk about this, like people talk about going to the next level like you're in this mermaid state. I'm never in that mermaid state. I'm like one of those photos at Alton Towers where I'm clinging on for dear life. I've got my tongue out, I'm sweating, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I'm doing. And that's my version of like going to the next level. And on the other side of that, you come out and you're like, great, we made it. But usually hand in hand, those things go alongside of going up a bit, healing stuff, going up a bit, healing stuff, and going deeper and broader and wider. So I would love you to have a little think about how you would be able to increase your energy, increase your impact and your input without burning out. Finally, number 5, what does this look like practically? So people say things like, just be mindful, just think positively, do something that makes you smile every day. Great, but what does that look like in your life? One of the things that really is very prevalent for me is something Marie Forleo taught me, which is simplify to amplify. I love this. Whenever I go, oh my goodness, I want this, but I've got to go here and I'm pulling all these things and suddenly like I'm a weird sea creature, come back. I have to do that, like, come back. Simplify to amplify. Because usually I do it the other way around. Oh my goodness, I've got to amplify. Oh no, and then how do I eventually get there? It has to be simplify to amplify. Also, I'm not going to share them all, but things like clear communication. I can grow my business more and more so if I work on my communication. It's fairly good, but if I'm really aligning with where I want to go, I need to pay attention to it. So it's those closed questions, or it's those open questions like, are we going ahead with this? Or when would you like to book? Rather than going back and forward in emails and DMs and things like that. Like, I love having wonderful relationships with my clients, but equally, there's only so many things I can do in a day, and I have to be really strategic and effective with my time. There's another thing that I love from Gabrielle Bernstein, where she talks about choosing again. So again, going back to this thing of what does it practically look like, this for me is, if I'm feeling that slump, if I'm feeling like everything's getting on top of me, I'm going to be giving myself full permission to choose again. Okay, how can I change this? What do I need? What's the next step for me? And sometimes that isn't, I'm going to go and do an Instagram live. It's, I'm going to close my laptop and I'm not going to do any work. Or I'm going to go and have a long bath. One of the things that I've been doing recently is having switch off time from my phone and then reading magazines. Love it. And some of them are quite old. Like, I read something the other day, I was like, July 2019. I hope no fashionistas are waiting for me. So this is what it is. This is my energy plan. And this is, if you're just joining, the opposite to a marketing plan. Because the energy always leads, as my friend Lucy Sheridan says. So I hope that's been helpful. If you're listening to this and you're like, I need a bit of that, need to work out what this is for me in my situation and how I can make this work going forward, come and join Jam and Plan live next Wednesday. I would love to welcome you in. It's a day all together, 4 sessions. It's a group situation, setting goals, but making sure that they're working on, even I remember when Oscar, my now 5-year-old, was 6 months, and I was looking for a coach. And this man kind of had a discovery call with me. And he said, what time did your son get up? And I was like, I don't know, about 5? He was not a great sleeper. He was like, great, you need to get up at 4, smash out the emails. And I was like, oh, no, this is not going to feel good to me. So with all of my work, this is about you. I have no agenda. I always say this. I have no agenda of what I need from you or I hope from you. All I hope from you is that you find the answers that you need. So you have that full day together with me, your CEO day, and then you have a week of email support with me. So after you've had that day of like, right, I think I've got my plan, and maybe all those inner, like, I don't know if I could do this. I'm not really sure where to start. Is this a thing? Is this going to work? You've got me for a week. So we can WhatsApp back and forth. You can email me. You can send me stuff going, I've just rewritten this sales copy. What do you think? Does it make sense? Who am I? Is this going to work? Etc. I'm there for a week going forward because, again, I know this process works. Because how often do we all go to an event where we're just like, yeah, it was really great. Oh my God, I feel really inspired. And then the next day you wake up and you're like, I don't know where to start. I've got this notebook, but the notes don't really make sense. So this is about action, and it's about energy and really taking it forward as well. So I'm going to take my kids to the park now. I'm going to say goodbye, and all the details are down below. Thank you so much for joining me, and feel free to share with me your energy plans and let me know what you're working on. Also, if you haven't signed up for one of my brand new free masterclasses, please do. There are 4 brand new ones. One is all about planning. The next one is about packaging your services. The third one is about being paid as a speaker. As I mentioned earlier, I've booked 4 paid speaking gigs already this year. That's quite a mouthful. And number 4 is about passive income. So if you want to have that ripple effect in your business as well, then that's going to be one that you want to listen to and grab a piece of paper and a pen with. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being with me today. I'll catch you again very soon. Lots of love. Bye.